Music in film and television can be used for a variety of different reasons, whether it's to personify a specific character, build tension during a suspenseful scene, or set the tone for the rest of the movie. Music has and always will be an integral part of the filmmaking process, adding another layer to the viewing experience that you sometimes didn't know you needed. And it doesn't matter whether you're referring to a score or movies that act as an excuse for the director to play some of their favourite tracks. At the end of the day, the use of music in a film or a TV show is there because it is adding something to the final product in a way that something like cinematography, set design, or acting can't do. However, with that being said, one thing you don't really see music being used for in films, TV shows, or even video games for that matter, is to contribute to the world building of a location within those pieces of media. Sure, you sometimes get diegetic background music in certain scenes if the characters are in a restaurant or decide to turn on a radio, but when was the last time the score itself contributed to the world a piece of media was trying to create? The answer you're looking for is HBO's Westworld. When you're dealing with something in the science fiction genre, such as Westworld, world building is more important than ever to make the environment that the story is set in feel more believable and authentic for the viewer. This is why Ramin Djawadi, the man responsible for the Game of Thrones and Iron Man score, is also the person behind Westworld's key component to world building, the thing that adds the final layer of credibility which makes this very futuristic show feel just that bit more familiar. Djawadi's score for Westworld does all the things you'd expect for a big-budget HBO show, such as a memorably grand theme tune, and moments of sweeping string arrangements that truly emphasise the scale of the show. However, due to the very complex nature of the show's narrative storytelling, Djawadi has introduced something into the show's music that gives it a layer of complexity in itself. Scattered throughout the soundtracks of the show's 3 seasons are orchestral versions of well-known pop and rock songs. Now, with any other show, this approach really wouldn't make that much sense, and would feel a bit out of place. But, due to the nature of the show being about a Wild West-themed park full of lifelike androids inside of a futuristic sci-fi world, the reusing of these songs from our time adds to the feeling of uncertainty with these two deliberately conflicting settings, whilst bringing the audience back to a sense of reality with these songs they already recognise. Djawadi himself best explained the use of these reworked rock and pop songs for the Westworld score in an interview with Pitchfork in 2016. You see the settings and the way people are dressed, and even though you know it's robots and it's all made to be modern entertainment, you would think the people in control would make everything authentic, including whatever is being played on the player piano. It would be from that time period, and when it's not, it's that subtle reminder that, wait, there is something not right here. This is not real. It's just such a powerful tool that only music can do. You can tell that this approach was Djawadi's attempt to pay respect to artists that he loves and appreciates in a way that would greatly add to the uneasiness of Westworld's core premise, as well as giving the music for the show its own unique personality. The way in which these songs are woven into the show's score is at first rather subtle, with the use of Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun being played on the player piano. Because this song is used diegetically in the show for the first time we enter the saloon in Sweetwater, it is very easy to miss, unless it catches your attention amongst the sound design and dialogue. However, when we get to the second notable example, which for season 1 is an orchestral rendition of Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones, the subtlety is thrown completely out of the window. Instead of being used in a diegetic manner, the music is now front and centre as it accompanies what is arguably one of the most notable scenes from the pilot episode. It is from this point onwards where the uses of modern songs throughout the score purely become non-diegetic, and only are used for key moments in not just the first season, but the whole show in general. Other notable covers from the first season include player piano versions of House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, and a fully orchestral rendition of Radiohead's exit music for a film during a pivotal scene in the season 1 finale where the androids start to revolt.
And it will have all those things that you have always enjoyed. Surprises and violence.
Funnily enough, making it the second use of that song in 2016 for a very important moment in a TV show. Djawadi continued to evolve this gimmick he had worked into the Westworld score with seasons 2 and 3. As season 2 heavily focuses on the aftermath of the android revolt from the end of season 1, and also introduces the audience to a Shogun samurai themed park, the renditions this time round can either lean towards a slightly somber, more sinister tone with covers of Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box and Radiohead's Codex, or contribute to the oriental feel of the newly discovered park, which is most notable in Djawadi's take on Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. And then there's season 3, the most recent season of the show at the time of me recording this. This season is the first time we fully start to see a lot of the main androids we've been following since season 1 start to interact with the outside world and venture beyond the parks. As the show is no longer restrained as much as it used to be by the confinements of the Wild West themed park, and is now headfirst into the high-tech sci-fi world in which these robots were created, Djawadi takes this opportunity to start experimenting with covers of artists from a variety of genres and styles. This time we get a very faithful version of Massive Attack's Dissolved Girl, a very dramatic orchestral interpretation of Sweet Child O' Mine by Guns N' Roses, a somewhat graceful take on David Bowie's Space Oddity, and even a straight-up copy of the main theme from The Shining of all things. Now, I can understand why some people may see this as rather tacky, and yes, if it was handled by a different composer where every single song of the soundtrack was a cover, then this gimmick would definitely outstay its welcome very quickly. However, because Djawadi knows exactly what he's doing and scatters these songs sparingly throughout each season, it never comes across as showy or pointless. Whenever one of these covers does appear as you're watching the show, 9 out of 10 times it comes as a pleasant surprise, and the fact that they are mostly saved for only key moments throughout the show reinforces the fact that they are being used for a specific reason, and that reason is to make this otherworldly show feel just a bit more down to earth and tangible, which, at the end of the day, is what successful world building does. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them and start a discussion of some kind. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye.